What they do, family? Welcome back to another episode of Love You More. It's your co-host KLB, accompanied by
His beautiful wife, AB.
yes, indeed. And we're back with another heartfelt episode for you all. I was thinking earlier about this year will be 9 years of marriage for us.
9 years is crazy.
9 years. My question to you is,
Hmm.
we married young, right?
Yeah.
Are there any regrets from marrying young? Do you wish you would have waited? If you could have did it over, would you not? Would you keep it the same? Would you encourage others to go for it if they feel like they in that position to do so? Like, what's your take and how you feel about just being married
Getting married
young?
young.
Yeah,
Okay, so I want to get straight into the topic, right? Because I think it's such a good one. But before we get into the topic, I want to take a moment to shout out you, shout out us. We have had a absolutely long, crazy weekend. Lots of traveling, lots of impromptu on the go, just handling business and trying to get things done. And knowing that it's Sunday night, the week is ahead of us. We still are here trying to get this content out for us to have our therapy session, but also for our viewers to let them into our this week in our bedroom.
yeah, for sure.
Um, I think that speaks volumes, and I refuse to let that go unsaid before we start this episode. So, shouts out to you for showing up for us. Now, to get into us getting married young, we were 20. I was 22, just had turned 22. No, I was 21,
Turning 22.
turning 22. So our wedding anniversary is 2 days before my birthday. So I was 21, turning 22 2 days after our wedding. Um, you were 25, 24, 25.
Somewhere in there,
Yeah. And so we were babies. We were still learning ourselves, still learning each other. Um, had a 6 month old baby, so that takes a whole nother account into me being a completely different person. You navigating as a father for the second time, like just a lot of things played into us getting married. Um, and so I would not definitely will not change anything because I am a strong believer in what's for me is for me.
for sure.
God wanted me to get married at 22, 21, 22. I got married and we've been rocking ever since.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, it has not been an easy marriage though.
Yeah, I don't think
No
no
marriage is
marriage is
easy.
easy.
No marriage is easy, but I think that with getting married so young and learning and relearning yourselves, we have met so many different versions of each other.
Yeah, for sure.
We have showed up to the party so many different ways. Like, and it's just here I am. This is me today. Figure out if you like it or not on both ends, right?
Yeah,
And so at 21, I am not the same person that I am at 31
yeah, for sure.
that I was then. You're not the same person that you were a year ago, let alone 9 years ago.
Yeah,
And so I would not change anything, but I would tell people who are coming behind us, babies, like now 9 years removed, every day figuring it out and by the grace of God and working for us. That's because I truly believe that we are meant to be together and we put in the work to be together.
yeah. I think it's you definitely have to wake up every day that no matter what, I'm gonna fight for us. No
It's
matter,
a choice.
you have, because you could say, oh, we meant for each other all day,
Right.
but at the end of the day, we're still human.
Right.
It's only so much that a person can take. If it's just blatant disrespect, if it's just blatant, cheating, or whatever it is, at some point enough is enough, right?
Right.
So every day you have to wake up with the mindset of, I'm fighting for us no matter what it is. Bring it to the table. Let's figure it out.
Through it.
Now, if it's just, like I said, excessive, then you got to do what you got to do.
Correct.
For your sanity. So it's that when hey, this is what I want. This is where I want to be. That fight is what's keeping it alive, and keeping it in those moments where, man, I ain't feeling this right now, or if I was single, I could do this, I could travel, I could move when I want to move, and this, that, and the third. But the reality of it is that a better situation?
And they always say the grass isn't greener on the other side. And so, talking to younger me, or talking to those women that come after me that are like, I'm young, but I'm thinking about tying it down. The grass isn't greener on the other side. You have to find someone who is willing to grow with you, because this would not work if I was on this, like, okay, I'm leveling up, and you were like, no, I'm staying stagnant. Like, it doesn't work, and vice versa. Like, if you were leveling up and I was staying stagnant, it doesn't work.
You gotta do it together.
You have to do it together. And together might not look the same, but as long as you know that I am working to become the better me for tomorrow, you're working to become the better you for tomorrow, it's always going to mesh, it all align somewhere down the line. It's hard though, because at 21, 22, none of my friends were married. Most of them weren't in serious relationships. They were partying, and it was like, y'all my homegirls. Like, I want to hang the hell out too. Like, what they say now, we outside. Like, definitely wanted to be outside, because I'm still young. I still have not even experienced that. But at the same time, I know I have a responsibility. I know that I have a husband and a baby. Like, it may have been different if it was just us.
Yeah, for sure.
But I got a baby at home, like, husband aside.
But let's be clear, right? Let's not make it seem like it's jail, right? No, nobody's on lockdown. So if it was ever moments, or hey, I want to go out with my girls, I'm going plenty of times. Like, me and the fellas finna slide out. We doing that. That's what's going on.
So and that's why
you could still have a good time and still be married. You just have to be respectful in what you're doing.
Right. But that's why I say it's hard, because the decisions that I made the first lot of years of marriage, like, we talking about 9, the first 3 years of marriage, as a married woman, as a mother with a young child at home, are not the decisions that I would make as a 31-year-old woman coming to the table married with children at home. I was out many a nights.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, there was a point in our relationship, in our marriage, that we were almost like alternating nights of, okay, you got the baby tonight, I'm going out with my girls.
No, facts, yeah.
You went out last night, so I'm gonna go out tonight. Like, and that would not fly. And
right now, no.
Absolutely not. Yeah. It would not. That's not something that, one, would be acceptable for our marriage, but 2, would not. Like, it's just, there's so many different morals and values that we have now that just, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, for sure.
But it worked for us. Not necessarily healthy, because it brought on a whole lot of other trials and tribulations, and that's when, we didn't see eye to eye. Or, one thing I will say, again, we said marriages work, right?
Yeah, every day.
If you're not, you cannot put that work in outside.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no way.
Yeah, for sure.
And your partner can be outside with you.
Yeah.
And the work is still not being done.
Yeah. Facts.
It takes solitude. It takes I don't want to use the word confinement because that sounds like jail, and by no means is it jail, but it takes quiet. It takes
Yeah.
peace.
And let's be honest, there's ways, especially as a married couple, that we could go out and have a good time, and it's not we out shaking ass or we out,
Right.
you know. But we could go
And
out,
have a
have a
great
great time,
time.
figure out what that looks like
Right.
for your situation. And I think for us too is we did the partying, and we had those moments where we were the party.
Lots
So
of
I
it.
think now we're very more chill and
Mhm.
relaxed, and just hey, I'd rather just be in the house. Like I'm cool with being at the house, put a movie on, watch some
Right.
football, or hop on the grill, cook some food.
You know what is hilarious though? We've always been that like we in the house couple. Like we've been outside.
Definitely was
I can't
outside
lie about that. We've been outside.
for sure.
We've done our partying, but there was almost a shift where our oldest got a little bit older. And it was like, okay, us going out every other night, like taking turns going out, that's not really working because he wanted both of us, like we need
Hmm.
to be home. But the party ended up coming to home.
Yeah,
And with the party coming to home, like we didn't think anything of it because it was like, we're home.
yeah, we at the house.
Yeah, like we at the house, it doesn't matter. It doesn't everything is fine because we have eyes on each other. Can't
Yeah,
nothing crazy happen here because we're in control of our domain. But that also was a negative space almost for having the party, like a revolving door of
every day.
every single
Yeah,
day
every day.
was a party of some sort. Like
Nah, we doing it for sure. Every
every
day we
day.
hopping on the grill.
Yeah.
We gonna grab a bottle, hopping, sit in the garage, sip some brews,
Yeah, or in the house we playing cards.
card,
Like,
yeah, every
don't let it really be
or have a reason
a
like
a
a
real
Super Bowl or
Cinco de
Valentine's
Mayo or
Day.
give me a theme and I promise you
Yeah, it was up for
we are
sure.
having a party.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a different time, and it's crazy because now it's a the complete opposite,
180.
right? Like nobody
Absolutely.
really pull up to the house. Like we still have little moments where we sit around and have a good conversation, a few drinks, but not the way it used to be.
No.
Like
To the point where our friends
where we
have
had that
not
open door
even
policy.
right. Like
Yeah,
our friends have not even come to the house
yeah,
yet.
no,
It's strictly family. It's strictly like, hey, I'm coming over this time. Like very adulty. It's very cute. It's what I call it demure. It's very demure. Like there's a time and there's a place and it's very put together and I enjoy that because we had so many years of literally a open door policy.
yeah,
Like I'm outside, or
yeah,
even
yeah,
to the
yeah.
point where it's not even I'm outside. Like people are just unlocking the door and coming in, and
Yeah, for
we
sure.
got bottles. Let's start the party.
8, 9 cars in the driveway.
What?
Yeah, for sure. Packed out every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
So how did that? Because we got married young, and I think that it's different for women. My role in it was a little bit different because I was a new mom, and I knew that with being a new mom, my responsibilities were shifting. And as a new wife, it was almost easier because they kind of played hand to hand.
Mm,
But as a man, locking it down at 25, like, how does that feel?
I mean, for me, it was cool because it was like what we was already doing, and
Yeah.
essentially, right? Like I don't feel like much really changed.
Changed.
It was just a new space. Like we married. Now we can't just leave, we can't just up and leave. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we really have to work things out. We have to talk through them and go through them and be willing to figure it out, no matter how bad, no matter how hard the conversations is. So
Right.
for me, it was cool. And then shit, just like any naturally, you mature. What I like yesterday, I don't like today. What I like today, I didn't like yesterday. Like
Right.
you have those moments. So as long as we are willing to learn and grow with each other, you know, that's not that's minute
Right.
compared to everyday battles of just living life and
Yeah,
figuring
those
it
are a
out, and
lot
then
harder.
what our goals are, where we're trying to
Right.
go, where we want our finances to be, 5 years, where we're going to be, like those type of things. What area we want to be in, kids going to school, got to think about that type of stuff. So,
Okay, so you just named a few different things that we didn't necessarily speak on prior to us getting married. Again, we were babies.
yeah, for sure. No,
Like
we
looking
definitely
back, we
are.
were babies. We just were like, okay, we've been together for 6, 7 years at this point. Um, it only makes sense. Like we now have a child. We don't want our child to be a statistic. Like so, naturally, it only makes sense for we're living together. It only makes sense for us to get married.
Right.
But we didn't have any conversations. It was just like, okay, we getting married. This is a date. These are the colors. Like, tell your people to pull up.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
having this wedding. What kind of cake do you want? And that was it. We did not have a real conversation of what does it look like from dating as children to dating as adults to getting engaged or really being like if we're gonna be honest being engaged as children to being married. Like there was no conversation, there was no
Yeah, no, it was just like
turn
go
of
with the
events.
flow,
Yeah,
figure it
like
out as we go. And I feel like that was the best. That's the best part about us, just in general,
mhm,
because we do a lot of. Hey, we're gonna go with the flow.
true.
We plan to an extent, depending on what it
Yeah,
is. But for the most part, we go with the flow. Hey, yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna slide. Get to the point, like, yeah, nah, we ain't gonna make it. It's just,
right, right,
it ain't. It don't make sense for us right now.
right.
So you have those moments where sometimes just being able
Going
to
with the flow
adapt
is
and going with it is the
mhm,
best.
that's what works for us.
At the time. So,
See, and I would say something different because sidebar. When we got married, and I'm not sure if this is like y'all please give me a little bit of insight on if you're married, like what that the night of you being married felt like. Because we got married, the wedding was beautiful, like planned to a
no,
T.
for sure.
Shouts out to mommy because it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And everything was perfect. And you know how like a little girl has that dream of like, oh, this is my wedding and my husband and my kid, like
Yeah.
everything was perfect. And then the wedding was over. Like this is how young we were. So all my Tallahassee folks, after we got married at Wakulla Springs.
Mm-hmm.
we
But mind you, the end of the wedding was a movie.
Oh yeah,
Straight party.
very much lit. Like
Party.
very much lit.
Yeah.
Then we dashed from Wakulla Springs back to Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Change real quick. Like
No, we didn't.
You didn't change. I didn't wear my wedding dress.
I felt like you did.
No, I did.
I felt like you
I
did.
still had my veil and stuff on, but I changed a little bit.
I don't remember.
I didn't wear my wedding dress. And the night of our wedding, we went to Top Flight.
Yes,
like,
we did. Yes,
what
we
y'all
did.
talking about? We had Top Flight we didn't have a wedding party, but 90% of the people in our wedding,
the young folks for
right,
sure.
The cousins.
Oh,
we was in Top Flight.
We
had
we shot a movie in the flight.
What? Like that probably was the best night of my life. Just
for sure.
Like the love, the energy, the
that
9 years later still.
Them blackout nights.
Yes.
Yes. I ain't even getting on my way at night.
Baby, I'm tired, and we had a whole wedding.
And me and school got tore up. For sure. No, for sure.
We are still tore up, baby.
Shot a movie.
For sure, but it's funny because, and I can't even say that night. It may have been the next day or the next night because I can't remember if we went back out to the hotel where we got married or like, oh, that's a blur. So forgive me there. And I don't want to tell no lies, but when we got back to our house at where we were staying at the point,
mm-hmm.
it was so surreal and almost weird because it was like, okay, so now what?
But that's
Like
what I was saying. It's like
now
it's
what do
nothing.
we do?
Yeah, nothing really
Nothing
changed
changed.
in a sense.
Like we're in the same situation that we were before. Like let's not lie to y'all and say we had it. We were dead ass dirt poor.
Yeah, for sure.
We barely making it. Like didn't have a honeymoon. It was let's get married. That's out the way. Let's go to work on Monday.
Yeah,
Happy married.
for sure. But at the same time, we did it, and we went through the progression of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we literally came from the bottom together to
Literally.
where we are now, when the things we're capable of doing and have access to and the resources now
Very much
compared to where we came from. Shit, we did damn good in my
absolutely,
eyes.
and
So
continue to do amazing.
yeah, so
So, would you say if you feel like the day after or after we got married, it was like, okay, back to regular schedule program, we've been doing this? Would you say that marriage is a piece of paper?
I mean, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I say when I look at marriage, when you sign that paper, you're taking on a business partner, right? That's why I say you should run your
Marriage like a
marriage
business.
like a business, because
Gotcha.
essentially all that is doing is bonding y'all together and saying, hey, you're responsible for each other and y'all stuff together.
Right.
So now we need to sit down and have that conversation of what does the logistics look like?
Yeah.
How do we run a successful business? How do we have tough conversations? How do we come to agreements? Hey, well, how are we going to run our finances?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have a
These
CEO. You got to
conversations.
have a CFO. These are the type of things where, because you can
Right.
go and just let it be what it is. Hey, my money, your money, and then we just go in on the bills together, and then whatever.
See,
But
and that is one of the things that we were so young and naive, and thank God it worked out the way that it did. And maybe if we would have had these conversations prior to getting married, we would have been able to save some of the heartbreak throughout these past 9 years. Maybe, maybe
not
not.
really, not really, because you have to go through the experience to learn.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
I agree with that. But if we would have, before we got married, said, okay, once our wedding day is August 5th, August 6th, your money is no longer your money, my money is no longer my money. We're going to merge it together, and that's what the finances is going to look like.
Yeah, I mean,
If we would have known that going in, one, if we were like, nah, that doesn't work for me, then okay, pause. That doesn't work for you. So if it's a hard no, and that if you a hard yes, then this isn't gonna work.
I think at the end of the day, all it is group economics.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, as it should be.
Two is better than one. So
Right.
it's hard to get people on the same page with anything. Think about when you go through trying to put together a vacation, a travel group, right?
Baby.
How it's hard to get everybody to
Agree.
understand or say, hey, this what's best for the group, or this what we need to do. Everybody should go in on the pot. Everybody put a couple dollars in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's that just natural selfishness that people carry, where it's hard to understand how important group economics is and where it can take you. So
Right.
when we got to the point and had that conversation with, hey, this is what we need to do and this is why we need to do it, and you wasn't on board.
No,
when we first started.
No.
It wasn't until you seen it like, oh shit, no, this really,
this is life changing.
oh no, you own to something.
Yeah.
And then
But
once you go through the motions of, oh, we knocking this down, we paying this off,
Right.
we ain't no longer got to worry about this or that. Oh, damn, we really ain't check the check no more.
Right.
That's when everything changes. And it's like, oh, that's switching your head. Like, fuck, we should have been doing this.
But past finances, because I feel like that's so superficial, like down to how you raise your kids, how
Yeah, all of it matters.
Everything, like.
But you gotta talk about the finances, because that's the number one
Yeah,
things leading
that's what
into
keeps your lights on.
to
That's
divorce though. Like I said, that's
got
the
it.
one of the number one things that
I can see that.
lead to divorces. You know, the finances.
Yeah.
So if you have the finances conversation, that's usually the hardest part because people don't want to talk about their finances, right?
Yeah.
So if you can sit down and you can have that conversation, all the other conversations are easy.
Yeah, if you could come to your old man and be like, my credit score is a 320 and
Let's
let
figure it out.
me,
how can we get this
and
up? What do
let
I
me,
need to do? Yeah,
yeah,
like
like after that conversation, the conversation of I want to homeschool the kids,
yeah, all that's
and
easy.
I know that you want them to go to public school, like that becomes easier.
Yeah, for sure.
But there are so many different topics that it's almost like you don't know until you go through them
Yeah, for sure.
that you need to have these conversations about. And part of our journey, a lot of our journey has been once that topic comes up, then we have that conversation, or maybe we don't, and we fall on our face and it's a catastrophe. And then we're like, no, okay, let's have this conversation so we can get back in the middle of the road.
Right.
Or on the other side, you have that conversation, you lay out all of the things early on and then work through them.
Yeah, but you need to do that before the honeymoon stage.
You need to do that before the honeymoon stage, but you also have to understand that a lot of our audience are our age and older. We're talking about 9 years removed. I'm 31. So at 31, the things that I know to come to the table, like if I would have met you at 31, our conversation was going to be a completely different than our conversation at 20 at 21.
You would hope so, right? And you can only really say that if you've been through these things and you've matured along the way. Because if you haven't
Correct.
ever gone through these things or been in these type of positions to know that hey, this is something I need to talk about, then maybe at 31 you don't have those conversations.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I think now I think it's harder as you older because you're more set in your ways, right?
Absolutely.
And
especially if you're just now meeting somebody and this is
you wanted the way you wanted, and you know probably vice versa. They do the same, so it's like if and I think that would help because if you sit down and you have those conversations from the jump while you're trying to get to know somebody, you could really say, "Oh no, this ain't gonna work." Or
but when a man, like as a woman, I don't know you. I swipe left or swipe right, whichever way I got to swipe for us to meet.
mm-hmm.
I meet you and I'm like, I'm really feeling you. I'm 31. Now let's have these hard conversations. Do you feel like you would be accepting of that, or men your age, your caliber would be accepting of like, hey, we older. I'm not here to waste no time.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're talking about a mature or you know what I'm saying, a mature male mentally, I think for sure that he would appreciate those conversations.
Okay.
Because
so is there a time that it's too early?
I mean, I feel like if you're trying to get to know somebody, these are important conversations to where, hey, I can really open up and let you know who I really am compared to, hey, we don't have these conversations. You start falling in love with me or whatever, and then I come and drop a bomb on you like, hey,
I got a 320 credit score.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, you could have been told me this. You know what I'm saying? We could have worked on it or we could have figured it out. Yeah, together. You feel me? Because that's what it's all about. If you're at the point where hey, I want a relationship, I want to do that, then you have to get to the point where you want to do it together. You know what I'm saying? So, I would think if you're talking about a mature man, he would appreciate those conversations because also it's deeper than the surface.
Correct.
That gives you a deeper inside look at the person that you're trying to deal with more than just, hey, what's your favorite color? Can you cook? What's your favorite meal to cook? Those type of conversations.
That is so weird because I could not imagine. Like I've been out of the dating scene for my whole life. Yeah, honestly, like I don't even know how I would navigate that space. So shouts out to y'all who are
holding it down.
oh yeah, who are out there, who are putting yourselves out there, because that's scary.
I mean, it shouldn't be, right? Because the reality of it is,
Baby, that's scary
I
to
mean,
me.
yeah, but it shouldn't be because essentially all you're doing is getting to know somebody, right? You just hope that the person that you're trying to get to know is honest and pure and
Right.
genuine and what
And
the move is.
on the same level as, because you can't be out here just trying to catch a nut and I'm out here like, no, I need a stepfather and I want to get married.
Yeah, but that as a woman, you got to do your due diligence. You can't be so heads over easy and
Yeah.
throw it to him on the third day, the fourth day, thinking that he really would, he trying to protect you. Because after a while, he ain't gonna be able to uphold that if he ain't being
Correct.
honest with you.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
So do you feel like at our age, because we don't have that side of life, we neither one of us have been in the dating scene or as adults. So do you think that it would be harder to date as a 31 and 33-year-old
Nah, because I think it'll be
now?
easier for us because now we come with standards. We come with, hey, you gotta come with this, you gotta do this, you gotta have this, you gotta be talking about this, or I ain't even wasting my time with it to begin with.
But is the dating pool so oversaturated with bums nowadays that
Maybe so.
like
But you can weed them out early.
okay, so tell me this. You're dating. Give me three, like you have to have this, you have to come to the table with this for me to even swipe left on you.
Finances, that's very important to me.
Okay, when you say finances, like you
Just,
have to have a job or you have to make six figures.
I'm not even saying you got to make a certain
have a
amount,
certain
but
credit score.
money management,
Okay.
that type of part of the finances.
Ladies, I don't mess it up for y'all. My husband ain't going nowhere because he's been through that with me.
Yeah. Hygiene.
Okay.
Very important. And, shit, I'm a sucker for food, so you gotta know how to cook. Yeah, you got to cook.
I can see that.
Yeah, but
see, that's why you don't ever need to be in the dating pool, because hygiene, like we 30 plus. If your hygiene off,
that go your hygiene plus that's your house, cleaning your house and that type of stuff. All that go hand in hand.
But you're 30 plus.
Now, I don't mean everybody out here know how to clean.
True.
They sells or they house. For that matter, I'm just saying.
If your ass is nasty, your house is nasty.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah. So, what about you? What would you be looking for?
So I would be looking for someone who, that's so weird because I've never really thought about this. Who is emotionally intelligent, who knows what their flaws are, comfortable in their flaws, but doesn't try and like fake the funk of, oh yeah, I'm that nigga, and no, you're not, your cornball. And I love you for being a cornball, but you're cornball. So emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, you just kept it for yourself. Bet.
No,
I don't think
I'm gonna be single.
Probably.
Damn.
But go ahead, get your other two off. you might can you might can get some more on the board. But if it was the pop the balloon challenge, it would have been gone, all of them.
Damn. But I think that's very easy to ask. Like, I don't care if your chain is fake. Just say that your chain is fake. Don't be over.
You know they not. Yeah, they ain't going for that.
And maybe I do care that your chain is fake. We'll work to get you a real chain, but like, don't be somebody that you're not. Be comfortable in self. Be emotionally intelligent enough to know that I'm not there yet, but I'm working to it. So that brings me to my second one. My second one would definitely be drive and ambition. If you are doing the same thing that you were doing a year ago, like there has to be some type of evolution, there has to be some type of growth. But I'm not going to say financially, like finances wouldn't be on list, but having something to show for your work would be on my list. So with being able to strive and have ambition, like, okay, you got to show me in the last 365 days, in the last 2 years, what do you have that is something that you can tell me is like quantitative, like tangible, that I will be able to see, like, oh, okay, you're learning, you're growing, you're, striving.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and then my third one, you gotta like to take trips, like
Travel.
yeah, you gotta like to travel. You got to like the get outside your hometown. I don't want no couch potato bum ass nigga.
Might as well keep your husband.
Oh baby, you're not going nowhere.
For sure, for sure.
That's it.
Well, that's another episode of Love You More.
Love you more, baby.